Hello everyone, welcome to day 8 of our mains Samadhaan 75 days course. So today the topic is ethics, that is GS-4. So the question is differentiate between rule and norms. Should people blindly follow social norms or rule? Or should they be independent interpreters of the rules of the society? Critically comment. So here we need to explain between what is a rule and what is a norm. And then the question is, should the people blindly follow social norms or rule, or should they be independent interpreters of the rules of the society? So first of all, we need to define what is a rule and what is a norm. Rules are a set of explicit or understood regulations or principles governing conduct or procedure within a particular area of activity, which involves a penalty of their violation. Basically, rules are regulations. They are explicitly mentioned regulations which govern or conduct a procedure within a particular area of activity. And if you are violating the rules, then it will involve a penalty. An enforcing body such as a state or management board is responsible for execution of rules. So a body has to be there which will enforce the execution of rules. For example, this is a rule: sexual harassment of women at workplace. So this is a rule. Now what are norms? Norms are informal guidelines about what is considered normal social behavior in a particular social group or social unit. So these are informal guidelines, not formal, which is considered in a particular community. It is accepted. That is a norm. Norm forms the basis of collective expectations that the members of a community have from each other and play a key part in social control and social order by exerting a pressure on the individual to conform. So basically, norms are informal guidelines which is accepted in a particular society or a community. So it is kind of expectations which people expect from you. Okay, so it acts as a pressure on the individual to follow that particular guidelines. So that is called norms. So if you violate the norms, so violation of norms may not involve a penalty, but it will lead to social ostracization. So you may be it may lead to like somebody can neglect you, or it will kind of a social, they'll look at you with a social stigma. Okay, if you violate a particular norm. For example, endogamy in marriage is generally considered as a social norm in rural India. Now, norms and rules are a set of creation of order and harmony in the society. There has to be rules, there has to be norms so that a harmony harmony will be there. For harmony to maintain a harmony or to maintain a social order, norms and rules has to be there. Rules act in formal sphere while norms act in informal sphere. Because norms are informal guidelines. Norms are informal guidelines. There is a thin difference between rules and norms. Formal acceptance of a norm by statute book makes a rule. It means if there is a norm which is informal, now suppose a government accepts that norm and puts it in a law, that is statute book, it becomes a rule. Some rules go parallel to norms, while some rules tries to establish new practice by making a particular norm a punishable offense. Obviously, if some rules can also establish a new practice by making a particular norm which was already informal, it can make it a punishable offense through a law. In both the cases, the ethics and morality involved is decided by a collective consciousness of the society. So be it a norm or be it a rule, the ethics and morality which is involved in that particular rule or a norm, it is decided by the consciousness, collective consciousness of the society. In case of rules, individual interpretation is required to check the morality of the content, which can lead to revolutionary consciousness among the people and ultimately better civilization. See, when it comes to rules, so individual interpretation is required because a rule is made by a government. It may be moral, it may not be moral. Okay, so at that point of time, an individual interpretation is required. How an individual is interpreting that rule from a morality point of view. And that can also lead to revolutionary consciousness among the people. And ultimately the civilization will be better. Rules and norms are important foundations for society and community living. But it is not right to blindly follow them, because the question is, should people blindly follow social norms and rules? So here we need to mention the rules and norms are important foundations for any society and a community living, but it is not right to blindly follow them. Why? See, rules and norms itself might be absurd or backward looking. For example, honor killing. Honor killing is a norm in some areas of our country, but it is not progressive. It is not progressive. It is backward looking. So we should not blindly follow. These may curb human freedom and right to dignified life. For example, sedition law. Sedition law is a law and it is a rule. Honor killing is a norm in some areas, not all areas, in some areas. Sedition law is also, if it is being misused like anything, sedition law. In GS-1, we cover this topic. So it may curb human freedom also, rule. Abortion in India, or abortion is legal in India, but it involves, see, abortion is legal because we have a law, MTP law, okay? But it also involves an ethical issue, that is, it involves ending the life of a fetus. It therefore raises challenging questions about the status of a fetus and the interrelationship between a pregnant woman and a fetus. It will ask a lot of questions. Whether it is ethical to end the life of a fetus. So it asks a lot of questions about the relationship between a pregnant woman and a fetus. Therefore, it is important for rules and norms to pass through the test of a reason and rationality in order to be followed. So any rule or norm, whether it is correct, morally correct or not, it has to pass the test of reasoning and rationality. Blatant violation of them also lead to chaos. Thus, we must use constitutional and peaceful means to arrive at rules and norms which are just, progressive, inclusive, acceptable by the maximum. So this is the topic of rules and norms, and this is how you have to write answer, an ethics answer, by giving proper examples. Okay. So anyone who wants to join the mains mentoring can contact me here for all these components, and I'll be starting an ethics batch on Wednesday. It will be a 30 days batch where I'll be covering all the 9 chapters with case study, and each chapter will have 2 questions with model answers plus evaluation. You can go to my channel and check the course details. Thank you.